Hello and good morning and welcome back to my channel. I'm naturally Ray, or you can just call me Ray. Now, if you know you watch my videos back to back to back to back and have not subscribed, why not? Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I upload future vlogs and videos where I talk about health, fitness and lifestyle. So today's video, I'm going to be giving you 10 simple habits that will help you on your fitness and weight loss journey. Now, if you've been following my sit down videos and my vlogs, you all will know that I am still on this journey because I still have some ways to go, but I definitely have some simple habits, simple routines, things that you can implement day to day, week to week, and just be aware of things that will really help you to lose weight a little faster if you are struggling, if you are on a plateau. So the first simple habit is to remove all of your tempting snacks in your fridge, in your cupboard, in your cabinet, or wherever. Now this was a little hard for me because there were times I kept a little extra snacks in the fridge or in the cupboard, and I'll be like, those are for my guests, those are not for me. And y'all, I would eat all the cookies, all the biscuits, all the snacks, everything. So by the time I had guests come in, then I would have to go to the grocery and buy more snacks or buy more things. So I just had to realize that if I have snacks, they really have to be the healthier snacks. I can't have tempting unhealthy snacks. Now another thing that I realized that I have been doing for a while, I'm so embarrassed about it, but I will just let you all know. So I have a grab and go bag. So in case of an emergency, you know, if there's some kind of natural disaster, earthquake, flood, whatever it may be, I have my grab and go bag. So I have all my medical supplies, first aid, extra clothes, the usual non-perishable items. And along with these items, I also had snacks, and they were more of my comfort snacks because I always tell myself, if there's some kind of emergency and I have my grab and go bag, I don't want to pull out any healthy snacks. So I always had my comfort snacks in there, everything that I just really love as a child or whatever. No. That grab and go bag kind of was getting me in trouble because I kid you not, every single month I will go in that bag and look for these snacks and eat them, and then when I go to the grocery the next month I will replenish. And I just had to tell myself, you know what, Rianne, you just need to put healthy snacks in there. You have to put something there that is not tempting. I know I still kind of don't want to do it, but I actually have to do it. Like there's no other choice. Now a big part of this is having some kind of self-control, because the reality is I should be able to have certain snacks or certain foods and just know how to control myself. I know I have a couple of videos where I talk about having discipline, where I talk about being consistent and developing certain habits, whether they're sustainable habits, realistic habits, but a big part of it is actually developing self-control. But anyway, we'll maybe talk about that in a separate video. But if you're really getting problems to control yourself when it comes to having unhealthy snacks and eating a lot of it, just do not have it at home. Do not have it in your fridge. Do not have it in your cupboards. Don't have it in your grab and go bags. The second simple habit to help you on your fitness and weight loss journey is to reduce the amount of salad dressings and sauces that you put on your food. Now this one is a little easier for me because I guess growing up, yes, you know, you have your salads, but I never really tend to put a lot of salad dressing on mine. I don't know, if the salad tastes good, it just tastes good to me. Now of course, when I do put salad dressing on it, it really does enhance the flavors and it does taste much better. But generally speaking, I could do without the extra salad dressing. And this is just this is a really good way of reducing the amount of calories that you are eating. So if you really look at the ingredients of some of these salad dressings, they are really high in calories, and some of them now are reducing the calories, but they have a lot of sugar in it. Sometimes they have a lot of seed oils in it, which are not good for you. And even different sauces, whether it's your ketchup, your barbecue sauce, whatever sauce, sometimes it's high in salt, high in sugar, high in calories. So just maybe try to find alternatives that are low calorie, low sugar, low salt, or a trick that you can do, which I guess, I don't know if it's like a secret because a lot of people do this, at least I kind of grew up doing this. Sometimes when you're making certain sauces, you dilute it a little bit, not too much, but I know some people do that as well. So that's just a way of maybe cutting down the sugar, cutting down the salt, cutting down the calories. You can maybe dilute some of your sauces, but as a whole, you maybe just want to reduce it in general. The third simple habit is to reduce the amount of oil that you're cooking with. You would have seen in a couple of my videos, my what in a day videos, I use a spray bottle and it misses really good. Actually, let me get it so I will show you all. So I have these two. This is the one that you all always see me using, and I usually would use extra virgin olive oil. I just put it in here and it gives a really nice mist. Sometimes I just have to spray it maybe twice, 3 times for the most. So when I'm sauteing my vegetables, whatever I'm doing, look, number one, you just don't waste the oil. That's number one. And then number two, you're reducing the amount of calories. Now this is actually avocado oil because I recently bought this pure avocado oil. Is it coconut? I recently bought this one and I thought that the spray would be very similar to it. It's not exactly the same. I find like the tip of it, it squirts out a little more oil than I would want. So what I actually did is I sprayed it into this. So this is actually this avocado oil right now, but it was really good to get one of these bottles. There are different types, so you can look out for it, but that really helps you when it is you're cooking not to, number one, waste your oil, and then number two, it reduces the amount of calories you consume on a day-to-day basis. So we're moving on to tip number 4, but I also wanted to mention that these may sound a bit, I don't know if to say far-fetched, not really far-fetched, it may sound a bit overdone. That's really not the word. It may sound a bit, I guess, restrictive to some people, but the reality is, if it is that you are really struggling, these are really simple things that can help you to reduce the amount of calories, reduce your consumption of sugar, reduce your consumption of salt. And these little habits, they do add up over time on a day-to-day basis, week to week and month to month. I am at a stage where I have to be a little stricter mentally. I have been just eyeballing my food and just averaging, and my averaging has been, I have been overestimating how much I should be eating. Is it overestimating, underestimating? So I mix up that word a lot. But basically, sometimes I really don't calculate the amount of food that I should be eating on a day-to-day basis. That will actually take me into my 4th point, and that is using measuring cups and using food scales rather than just a normal spoon. Because a lot of persons, including myself, we don't know how to properly average what is a cup of rice, what is 4 ounces of chicken, what is a 1/4 cup of granola. We really don't do well at eyeballing these things. And when it is you're on a weight loss journey and you're at a plateau, or where it is you really want to see progress, it is good to actually measure these things out. I would definitely say for this point, and maybe for a lot of other points, over time, when it is you get accustomed to what what a cup of maybe brown rice might be, a cup of quinoa, over time you will get accustomed to it. So you may not need to measure everything over time, you may not have to use a food scale over time, but I personally have to get back to it now. When it is I started my weight loss journey, I got my food scale. Well, I also always had measuring cups from just cooking and baking, but initially I measured and I realized I saw a lot more results then. And when I started eyeballing and just kind of forgetting how much a cup was, how much a 1/4 cup was, how much ounces were, that's when I really started seeing an increase in my weight. So I kind of have to go back to ground level. I have to go back to the basics and start back doing this. And I more than likely will do this for just maybe a couple of weeks, maybe 2 months until I get accustomed to it. So along the points of measuring cups and food scales, my 5th tip will be to meal plan. And I think I mentioned meal plan in a lot of my videos because it's so important, where it is you can plan out what you're having for breakfast, what you're having for lunch, what you're having for dinner. And it doesn't have to be where you see persons having all these fancy glass containers and putting everything in different portions and having all these containers in your fridge. You can batch, I didn't go say batch create like if it's content. But you can make food in batches. Make all of your chicken, make all of your ground turkey, make all of your salmon, whatever it is, make all of your shrimp on a particular day, and you can do shrimp tacos one day, or you could do ground turkey tacos another day. You can eat your salmon with brown rice with veggies, or you could eat your salmon with pasta. You could just mix and match. You don't necessarily have to stick to the same food for lunch, for dinner every single day for a couple of days. Now personally, I really try to cook things that I really love, so I don't mind if I eat salmon and sweet potatoes and broccoli 3 times in a day for dinner, because I really love those things. And that is something that I really think you should do. Cook things that, number one, if it obviously tastes good but you really like it, because if you don't like it, if it's not tasting good, more than likely you don't really want to eat it. You're not going to stick to it in the long term. And you all know I talk a lot about setting realistic goals, making sure things are sustainable, because this journey continues. Even when it is you reach your goal weight and where you want to be with your fitness, obviously you have to maintain, and there are different improvements you'll want to make as time goes by. But with that being said, getting back to the meal plans, it's good where you can, if you're going to work, carry lunch to work, because maybe 90% of the time, if you don't carry any lunch to work, you're not going to eat anything that is healthy. 90% of the time when you're in the office and you have to buy lunch, you're not going for a salad bowl. You're just not. It can happen. I'm not saying it can't happen, but if it is that you do that a lot on work, there's a high likelihood you're going to choose things that are unhealthy, high in calories, high in fats, high in sugar, high in salt, and you can't even calculate and measure how much of each of the micronutrients you're consuming, how much salt you're consuming, how much sugars you're consuming. So obviously, it's good that you can meal prep. And when it is you come home from a hard day's work, or maybe if you work at home in the evening time, if you don't meal prep, sometimes you're fatigued, you're tired, you're not really studying about trying to make the healthiest foods, so you might have takeout. Or even if you don't have takeout, more than likely you will find the fastest thing to put in your mouth, and it may not be the best. So meal planning, it saves you time, it saves you money, it saves you calories. And it'll just be beneficial in the long run. Point number 6 is again something that I mentioned in my vlogs before, but it's prioritizing protein. You have to make sure that you are eating sufficient protein every single day. And not just every single day, every single meal. Your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. No, there are actually some persons who say that the recommended amount of protein that you should eat on a daily basis is not as much as persons have said in the past. I think I would have mentioned on my channel, maybe in a couple vlogs ago, like the recommended dose. I'm saying dose like this medicine, but yeah, the recommended daily amount I think is 0.8 grams to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. And I think the body weight is the weight that you want to be, not the weight that you are right now. But some persons are actually saying that you may not need as much. Some persons saying you actually may need a little more. Either way, try to work it out for the way that you want to be. Stay within that range and I think you should be fine. And yeah, prioritize it for your lunch, your breakfast, your dinner, even your snack. Sometimes, we say snack and persons might say, oh, I'll just pull out a bag of chips or something. Maybe try to find something that is high in protein, high in fiber, which will take me into my next point. Try to increase, so this will be point 7, try to increase the amount of fiber in your food. Just as point 6 I mentioned protein is so important because obviously for your muscles. You're building muscles. When you build muscle, you have a higher chance of increasing your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. I'll maybe chat about that in another video a little more. And protein helps to keep you full. It helps to keep you satiated so you don't feel hungry. And the same with fiber, which is point, I believe, 7. Increase the amount of fiber that you eat. Fiber really helps you out so much with your gut, your bowel movements. You know, growing up, your parents would be like, you have to eat more roughage. Make sure it's really good for your health. It's really good for your blood sugar. Fiber is awesome for you, and it helps to keep you full as well. Maybe put, I don't know the exact measurements in terms of half of your plate or maybe a third of your plate, but really bulk up. And that's not a pun, but it kind of is. Bulk up, because fiber really does help you to bulk up your foods, and it helps a lot with your digestion. It helps a lot with your gut health. It's very important. So increase the amount of fiber. I will maybe put on the screen like maybe some health benefits maybe there. And another point, and I believe this is point 8, which kind of goes along with the fiber, is trying to eat the rainbow. Again, you may have heard me saying this before, but when it is you look at foods or you look at your plate, if you're seeing something that is very bland and boring, maybe just brown stuff, bare stuff, white stuff, you're not seeing the colors of the rainbow, the red, orange, yellow, green, purple, all these different colors, blues, you're lacking in phytonutrients. You're lacking in important phytochemicals for your body. A lot of these phytonutrients, they have good anti-inflammatory properties and other health benefits. Again, I may maybe put up all of the different colors, what the red, the blue, the green, the orange, the yellow, all the other colors, purple, what type of health benefits there are. The majority of them, they really have anti-inflammatory properties, so it's gonna be excellent for your digestion, excellent for your immune system, excellent for your heart health, excellent for just your gut microbiome as a whole. It helps out with a lot of things. So if it is that you're looking at your plate and you're just maybe seeing, now I must admit there are times where I would just have salmon, broccoli and rice, so the only color there is really green. But lately I've been trying to mix a little more, maybe sweet peppers, red sweet peppers, or maybe have some carrots. So add a little more color than just the green spinach or the green broccoli. Even though those are really good, they have a lot of health benefits, adding a little more color is really good. Now, if a particular meal that I eat, because I don't want you all to come and say in my comments, why does you only seeing green broccoli or green spinach? That may be in one meal, but maybe for dinner or maybe another meal, there may be more colors to it. So it's the overall amount that you eat on a daily basis. It doesn't necessarily have to be like that for every single meal. So I believe we are on point 9, and this particular point is, I guess, a really exciting one for me. Initially, when I had to do strength training and resistance training, I was a little scared. Because when I lifted my weights, I was like, what is this? This is so heavy. But I kid you not, it's one of the best things that I could have done when it came to my weight loss journey. When I started to try to get fit and healthy, I focused a lot more on HIIT exercises and cardio, and yes, I saw some benefits, because at the same time I was looking a lot at my nutrition, because let's face it, the majority of your weight loss will come from the fact that you are eating a lot healthier and you're staying away from a lot of ultra processed foods, which is what I was doing at the time. However, when I started strength training, the results, I don't want to use the word exponentially because maybe that's a little too much, but there was a drastic change in my body recomposition. I do have a smart scale, so I was able to really see how well my muscle mass was increasing, how my fat percentage was decreasing over time, and I did not see results like that when I was doing HIIT exercises and cardio. So if you want to try your best to get out of a plateau, you want to try your best to, you know, go a little faster. No, I don't want to say faster as in you're going to just start losing a whole set of pounds every week. But if you want to see a real change in the way that you lose your body fat, start doing strength training. Make sure you're doing progressive overload. I would link my body recomposition video in the description box so you can have a look at it, because it gives you like the basics of everything you need to know, especially if you're a newbie. So you check that out as well. But definitely do strength training and resistance training. You will definitely see some results really quickly. Tip number 10 is an exciting one, and that is to have treat meals or cheat meals. And I know some people don't like using the word cheat meals. I tend to say treat meals because I find cheat has a negative type of connotation to it. It makes it seem as though like you're doing something bad by having a treat. So that's why I just say treat. No. This was something that was a little tricky for me. First of all, when I started having these cheat meals, I actually was calling it a cheat day. So I would eat anything I want for breakfast, anything I want for lunch, anything I want for dinner. And when I mean anything, I meant anything, and that was not working out for me. The second thing is that sometimes I would have maybe 2 cheat days in a week, or maybe 3 cheat days in a week. And when it is I really checked it out, I was not in a calorie deficit, and obviously if I'm not in a calorie deficit, I would not lose weight. And that's when I began to realize, well, first of all, I had to realize it could not be a cheat day, it had to be a treat meal. And I would have said that, you know, I'm following the 80-20 rule, and I would just average what I thought 20% of having a treat was, not really knowing how much it is, until I pull out my calculator and realize that 20% of 30 days is really 6 days, which means that in an entire month, 2 of the weeks you only, well, not you, but I was allowing myself to have a treat meal maybe once in 2 weeks, and then the other 2 weeks twice. So maybe if I go out on a Friday 1 week, and then another time in another week, maybe Friday and Saturday. So I try actually not to do the 6 days. I try to do the 4 days, so that it would really at least help me to decrease the amount of processed foods. Because I'll be honest, anytime I'm having a cheat meal, it's ultra processed foods. I'm going out with friends, I'm going out with family. I'm not really like stressing about the calories. Now, I think because I am doing, well, I wouldn't say doing, because I'm into a little more with my fitness and a little more into my health, I think subconsciously I am more aware. So I may not overdo it, but there are times I'm like, you know what, let me enjoy myself. This is my cheat meal for today. And I have what I want. And that has also helped me with not overdoing it, because in the past where I would be maybe so restrictive and say, okay, I'm having nothing, no cheat meals, no treat meals for this entire week, maybe the following week I would overdo it and overindulge, and then I maybe have it for like 2 or 3 days in a row the following week, allowing myself to have it just on a weekend, maybe on a Friday, or another week maybe have it on a Friday and a Saturday. I get satisfaction from that. I get satisfaction to enjoy myself. And the thing is, even though I have those cheat days, I also don't consider my other days where I'm eating healthy to be like bad days or anything, because like I mentioned before, I eat foods that I love, and that is something that I always say. eat things that you love, do workouts, do exercises that you enjoy, because you want to enjoy this journey of getting fit. You want to enjoy this journey of getting healthy. So let me know in the comments, what are some things that are helping you with your weight loss? What are you implementing? What are you doing so that you can see results? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you like it, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss when I upload future vlogs and future videos. And as always, try your best to become the healthier version of yourselves. Bye guys.